Hello, friends. Good to see everybody. I'm Venerable Tarpa, and this is a Sunday teaching. I like we're getting back to the Sunday teachings. They're kind of low key, and we get to talk about some interesting things. Today's a special teaching because we get to cover something that I've been working very hard on, and I'm very, very excited about. I can't wait to share it with everybody. We've been working at tweaking our SBT curriculum, always striving to make everything better for our lovely and devoted practitioners. And I just, let alone that I make an update to the curriculum, I wrote a really beautiful commentary on it, in my opinion. The commentary and the outline are available in our download library. I just got them all uploaded. So after class, everybody can download it. It's a very short text, as you can imagine, but it'll really give you some insight, let alone into our curriculum, but also our motivation. I think I did a good job of capturing SBT's motivation and what the curriculum means to us. And so I think it's pretty good. Okay, with that said, that's what I'm going to talk about today. So for SBT, Secular Buddhist Tradition, we approach Buddhism in a very, very open way, right? Oftentimes we talk about maybe we should call ourselves agnostic Buddhists because we don't claim to have absolute answers. We're not trying to tell anybody what to do. In a sense, we're all exploring the Buddhist teachings together. We're trying to figure out what works. Each one of us is trying to figure out what works for you, and we honor that and promote it. The idea that we recognize that everybody comes with a different kind of mind, right? When I was in the monastery, it was just, this is the curriculum, this is how you think, and you do it, and if you don't fit into it, you have a problem and go somewhere else. And so we do quite the opposite, especially in the West. We're realizing that though we share so much in common, our minds can be so different, not just in things like culture, but in knowledge and in attitude and in style, the way we look at the world, our hopes and dreams. There's so many things that are different. So I think modern organizations really need to acknowledge that and cater to it. So that's one of the principles SBT was founded upon, that simply we don't tell people what to think, what to believe, or what to do. We offer we're all here because we dig Buddhism, right? So we know that's one of the things that brings us together. So we do our best to share the Buddhist teachings in what we think is, that information that we think is most illuminating and fruitful and potentially accurate. Because let's face it, Buddhism was, the Buddha existed over 2 millennia ago. When we think about the Buddhist teachings, how much can you trust them? Yes, we have all these documents that were very, very carefully preserved. But nevertheless, after all that time, there is some concern that we're actually not seeing what the Buddha taught. Nevertheless, we approach that with this agnostic idea, and we weigh things out for ourselves. If we think that those things benefit us and what we want to practice. So in a sense, our curriculum is kind of a suggestion. So many people come to me in Buddhism and with one concern, they say, I've been studying, I've been meditating, but I don't know how to practice. What am I supposed to do? And, as I say that, I'm thinking back when I was a young Buddhist and I was in the Nyingma tradition. I remember that used to really drive me crazy, that all I wanted somebody to do was give me a sheet with my prayers and say, here you go, here's your morning practice. But they didn't do that. And they said, well, practice is different depending on what empowerments you've had, or what teachings you've gone to, or what lineage. And I remember that drove me crazy, and it seemed to drive Westerners crazy. We like things fixed. Here it is. Okay, I want it simple. Give me the book. I'll do what you give me, but just give it to me. And so when I wrote Tibetan Buddhist Essentials, I put a lot of effort into having a really good daily practice that would fit the majority of people. And so I bring that over into SBT, and we've done the same. And we're a young organization. This June, I think we're going to be coming up on 5 years. We've done an amazing amount, or we've created an amazing amount of material, and we're not quite done yet. Of course, you have to start at the beginner level and then write the text from there. So, but we have gotten all the foundational material done, and now we're working on finishing more advanced programs so we can have a complete curriculum. And I think the end is near. I think we're going to have that done pretty soon. Okay, with that said, so because we respect and nurture and promote different views here, and we want each individual to awaken for themselves, realizing that that's the only thing we can do, that beings have to awaken themselves. The Buddha classically said in the sutras, Buddhas can't wash away sin with water. They can't heal with their hands. The only thing Buddhas can do is teach the nature of reality, right? So only thing a Buddha can do is to teach. You have to awaken yourself with that knowledge. So with that said, we have a broad range of people here, and it's quite a beautiful, let alone are we an international group, but also we have pagans, we have Taoists. Antonio's a Taoist. We have Hindus, we have Muslims. A lot of my Turkish friends from Istanbul come on, they're Muslim. We have a lot of Jewish people are into Buddhism. So we have people in Zen Buddhism and Theravada Buddhism, and I come from Tibetan Buddhism. So we have this vast array of people. So that's what makes our curriculum so essential, that our curriculum works as a glue. It's the center focus point that ties all of this diversity together. And it's written in that way. I write it in a way that's open and can be interpreted. Everybody is allowed to take or throw away whatever aspects of it they want, except for some of the higher vows. The idea is that, like, if you're taking monasticism, we don't let people just pick and choose their vows. We say, no, this is a specific training. If you want to do it, we really need you to follow that. But somebody could, on their own, without even taking vows, they could have the practice guide and practice it on their own however they want. I would support that completely and help in any way I can. So we really have this open, inclusive thing. So you can see how important the curriculum is for us, right? Hello, Shiva. Good to see you, dear friend. Okay, so with that said, hey, I got a graphic. How about we have some fun and look at some pictures? I promise you pictures. Tenzin Tarpa, blah, blah, blah. How about some pictures for us people? So, and this is from the new commentary. There's a document on there which is just the outlines, and there's one that's a commentary on the website. So you can have either one. But here's a look at the SBT curriculum. So let's start at the top here. We've novice practitioners. Novice is a fancy word for beginner. I didn't think people like to be called beginners. So I say, oh, novice. We're a novice practitioner. So this is people that are first coming to Buddhism, or potentially people that are just looking for a practice, right? You don't have to call yourself a Buddhist to do any of these practices. And And for novice practitioners that first come to us, we have two levels. We call the novice level, we kind of focus on meditation, right? So that's our meditation programs. Our skillful living program, which I'm really proud about, in a lot of ways, it's the real foundation for our practice. It's supposed to be a non-denominational kind of, or a secular resource of the Buddhist teachings, right? So it's based on the Buddhist teachings, but it's really shared in an open, non-religious way, something that I can't imagine anybody objecting to anything that's in it. And on the contrary, I think it's just a beautiful, beautiful document full of goodness and joy. And I also believe it really works. We get a lot of mail talking about how that program has benefited people. So at the novice level, we have those two practices. Now, these practices, there's no prerequisites, there's no vows, there's no ceremonies, none of that stuff. This is just good basic knowledge for changing people's lives. We call it skillful living because we believe that to flourish in life, it's actually quite simple. We succeed in life the same way we succeed at everything. You gain some knowledge, you get some skills, you develop those skills, you reap the benefits, right? Say you want to be a football player or a piano player or a YouTube influencer. You follow the same thing, right? First of all, you have to know how to do it. You have to know how to play football. You have to learn your scales on piano. You have to develop skills, right? Get those fingers going, get those muscles going. And then develop those skills until they pay off and you get the result. So I think that's a secret to life, is just understanding that you can't just stumble through life hoping that you'll find happiness, hoping that you'll win the lottery. You can do that. It's your choice. But that's not a path to success, right? You could get lucky, but it's a lot more practical to understand that, life is about knowledge and skills. And they're life skills, right? That's what skillful living teaches. Okay, from that level, we get into committed practitioners. It's a new term we're using. I really like it because it really emphasizes that the difference between the novice and the committed practitioner. A novice practitioner, sometimes these are people that are just exploring Buddhism, but nevertheless, they're doing some reading, they're doing some meditating, some studying, but they generally do it when they feel like it, when they're inspired, when they have time for it. But after someone does spend that time and they get to the point where they decide, this is really amazing stuff, this is benefiting my life. When they develop faith in the material, that is, and a knowledge that it's working, they might decide to commit themselves and say, I dig this. I think I want to do this. I want to become a Buddhist. I want to really engage in Buddhist practice. And at this stage, we call it a committed practitioner because we're committing to the path, right? Now, this is done from your side. This is voluntary. I don't have an opinion in it either way, But for like myself, I studied Buddhism. I explored Buddhism, and then I just fell in love with it. And I said, I really want to dig in. I really want to commit myself to real practice, real study. And at this point, we call it training, right? Beyond just studying and practicing when I have time. I want to get into training. I want to get into daily practice. I want to see how much benefit I can get. I've gotten a lot of benefit so far. If I apply myself, how much benefit can I get? How happy can I get? So that's the idea of becoming a committed practitioner. And traditionally in Buddhism, this is taking refuge vows, which we're giving today. And refuge vows it's the first level of training. and you're given 10 precepts of awakened, beautiful behavior. Don't kill, don't steal, be nice to everybody. And that's the first official step into the Buddhist world. You don't have to take refuge. You can do it on your own. You could follow those precepts on your own. We offer the ceremony, and the practice material and everything else for those who believe it'll benefit their path. For myself, I found the formality, the ceremony, the taking of vows, the promise to hold my precepts, very valuable for me, right? It really works for me. But some people don't. They feel a bit constricted by it all, and they'd rather practice in an open way, free of commitments. You're absolutely allowed to do that in SBT, and we support that completely. So all of these things we offer to you as tools, and we offer a lot of tools, and you can accept or request any of the tools that you want. So again, it's really important for us that you practice in the way that you think will pay off. We often say that SBT was created to support practitioners, period. We don't ask anything of you, no expectations. You don't have to do any kind of practices, you don't have to believe something for us or anything else. That's all on yours. We're sharing the Dharma. We're trying to help people. We're sharing it in an open way, that we talk about all the different traditions. We just give you some knowledge, and then what you do with it is up to you. We just want to see you succeed. Okay, so from that refuge level, you got 10 vows, you got a list of some beautiful behaviors that you want to do, and there's a practice that goes along with it. So for each one of these levels, we have a study guide. And the study guide, they're really pretty. They have some daily morning affirmations, and they're secular. There's nothing religious in them. And they have daily affirmations. They have some practices, stuff in there that you could use. There's meal prayers or dedications. There's meditation advice. And they also go into great detail about the practices at all the different levels. So it's everything you need for study. Getting back to my previous point, that so many people are just looking for a good study practice. Tell me what I want to do. Give me an idea. And that's what we have with those. So every one of these levels has a unique study guide. They're all free. They're all on the website. Okay. From refuge level, you have the option, if you think it'll benefit your path, to go to the next level with this Bodhisattva level. Bodhisattva level moves into the Mahayana teaching, and I think what really crystallizes people's idea of the Bodhisattva is this altruistic compassion, right? That the Bodhisattva, you take Bodhisattva vows and you dedicate your life to the benefit of others. It is an absolutely beautiful, beautiful intention. And that's really at the heart of it. It's this altruistic mind of awakening they talk about. The Bodhisattva's mind has bodhicitta, the altruistic mind of awakening, that you realize your interconnection and you want to start practicing and benefiting the world. Through refuge level, you start to develop incredible compassion and concern for others, and you want to benefit people. And then people will usually come to me, I don't have to mention it, and they'll say, I really want to expand my practice and take Bodhisattva level. Okay, so that's the next level. That's committed practitioner. And then each one of these, refuge and Bodhisattva, we recommend that you hold them about a year. That's a good time to really get a feel for them. Each one is built upon the next, so you really got to get a good feel of it. You get a good feel for the vows. And then at the next level, you're given additional precepts. Refuge is 10 precepts. Bodhisattva is 26 additional precepts that are on top of that. So then you end up with 36 vows. So as you can see, you want to practice with vows before you get more. And then anyone can stop at any level. People can come to SBT and do novice level, the first one, and stay there. We're completely happy with that. Again, we just want you to flourish in the way you think works best for you. But for people that want to get even deeper, and what we talk about deeper, we're talking about more committed. And usually it's because people are seeing this is really paying off. These teachings, these practices are becoming very clear to me that this is a direction that I'm enjoying, it's working, I want to move further in this direction. Personal choice, right? For those who want more commitment, they can move up to advanced level practitioner. So advanced level practitioner has 3 levels, but all 3 of these are equal levels. In SBT, we see all 3 of these equal in every way. The only thing that changes is a person's oh, I'm sorry, I blacked out. Their chosen method of training, right? Their commitment, how deep they want to get. So first we have the advanced bodhisattva level, right? The difference between the bodhisattva level above and advanced bodhisattva level is material. There's quite a bit of material to work on. Bodhisattva level works on that compassion, that altruism, right? That's the main focus. And getting a good feel for those vows, right? Those precepts, 26 precepts. And so we recommend people do that for about a year and get a good feel. Then the advanced bodhisattva level moves into some of the deeper, profound concepts and experiences in Buddhism. And most notably, the studies and cultivation of the realization of emptiness, which is one of the profound topics in Buddhism. So it's just a deeper level of bodhisattva practice. At the advanced level with SBT, the highest anybody can get is to be an advanced, be at the advanced bodhisattva level. Now, depending on the training people want, you could be an advanced bodhisattva level and stay there. Some of our folks wish to take lay ordination. You can tell who they are. They have those beautiful white sashes on. We have 2 people taking lay ordination this week. So there's additional precepts and a bit stronger commitment, right? But also lay ordained with SBT also takes on more of a leadership role, where our lay ordained really make a stronger commitment to the Sangha itself. And they want to be involved. They want to see that the Sangha succeeds. They want to get involved in coordinating programs, possibly teaching. Our lay ordained Sangha are also given, privileges. They're allowed to offer refuge and bodhisattva vows to people. So there's a level of commitment there for people that want to be kind of more involved in the workings of the Sangha. And then besides that, we also have advanced bodhisattva at the monastic level with monastic ordination, which is me. So, and again, this is someone who, now, their dedication, their commitment is more towards actually awakening. They want to put all their energy into becoming a Buddha, becoming a bodhisattva, becoming an awakened being. So they're focused on really awakening, right? So each one of them just has a little bit of a different focus and aim. And one isn't higher than the other. It's just a question of, with all of us with different minds, different dispositions, we all can also have slightly different aims, right? But of course, they all have a lot in common. They're all 3 are trying to become awakened, right? Just people can do it in different ways. Kind of the same principle of why do people pick different jobs, right? We just do. We have talents in different things, you know. maybe lay ordained people might have some real amazing worldly skills, and they want to put those to good use. Maybe maybe it's just a family person who really likes a spouse, really wants to devote their lives to bringing up amazing awakened children. So you can imagine there's many reasons. So that's the basic outline of the path to awakening in SBT. Any questions so far? Oh, that's a lot to take in, Tarpa. I can't see anybody. If you have a question, just speak up. Or now and let me know if anybody has a question.
I have a question.
Lay it on me.
This is Dana. And so, what if you have a signed pledge being a bodhisattva with another sangha? Does that make any?
No, not at all. I was a bodhisattva with the Dalai Lama, and there was no problem for me to change. I was a monastic with the Gelug tradition. I still hold those vows, but I also hold the monastic vows of SBT. With the Gelug tradition, I hold 253. With SBT, I hold 76. Most of them are overlapping and redundant. Our vows of 76, we really condensed a lot of the traditional vows into one, right? Like, there's 10 vows on how to wash my begging bowl, or, so, a lot of those were really easy to condense.
Yeah.
And the same with bodhisattva vows. Tibetans share bodhisattva vows. They do 64 vows. We do 26. So, yeah, I think that's all, that's up to the individual. I think you're allowed to pick which practice is beneficial to you. You could read over our bodhisattva vows and say, oh, I like these a whole lot better. I'm going to practice these. Yeah, you have that freedom according to us. Pasan?
Yeah, I want to ask a basic question. Can a married person with the children and a job be a monastic?
They shouldn't choose monasticism because that's not what monasticism is. Many of you probably know that lay ordained is actually not a regular level in Buddhism. The Buddha had, in the Buddha's day, he said 4 types of practitioners. Now it's important, the Buddha said all 4 of these practitioners were equal. It was the lay male, female, monastic male and female. So traditionally in Buddhism, that's it. You have lay and you have monastic. And we had a lot of, I had a few members that really were petitioning me to do something more for lay people, that a lot of our lay practitioners, they enjoyed their refuge vows and the skillful living level, but they really felt compelled to do more. And so it took them a long time to get me to agree. I thought ordination is for monastics, but I really do believe now that we need something in the West that's between the two. We need a serious commitment level for folks that have kids and they're married. A lot of people come to Buddhism late, where they've already made their life decisions and they want to be involved. And also there's monastics that might really enjoy the study, the dedication, but maybe it's a little too intense for them, and they might want to get married. They might want to live a looser lifestyle. So I thought it was really important to do, and I'm really, really thrilled that we did it. It's coming up on 2 years now that we've had lay ordained. We have 13 people that have taken lay ordination with us. So it's really exciting. So if somebody came to me with that question, I would say, oh, well, that's why we made lay ordination. That program is designed exactly for you. And then we also have people we have a couple members who have lay ordination that ask for additional vows, like celibacy or veganism, which aren't normally part of the lay ordained. So, we can work with them, right?
Thank
Another
you.
thing that we do that's important is that we do away with the terms monk and nun, because they've been used to subjugate women for thousands of years, and it's sad, even to this day in monasteries, that all the donations go to the big male monasteries, and with us always trying for equality. And it just broke my heart in my travels through Asia, and I just thought, absolutely not. So we use the term monastic. It's a single term for everyone. Everyone's equal in every sense. That includes LGBTQ, that includes transgender people. We don't make distinctions in people like that. If people are great practitioners, they're great practitioners. We love them, they're welcome. We're deeply committed to that kind of equality, as well as culture and everything else. Oh, that was a good speech. Should I move on? Okay, I'm going to move on. So this is the basic outline. And this exact document you can download from the website. What does it say here? Oh, all advanced practitioners are at, let me scroll up, here's the advanced practitioners. All advanced practitioners are at advanced bodhisattva level. That is the highest thing anyone can do in SBT. You can become an advanced bodhisattva. But you can also become an advanced bodhisattva with lay ordained vows or monastic vows, right? Just to make it clear, they're all equal. One of the reasons I did this, it bugged me that we had some Sangha members who felt not included in kind of the higher practitioner realm in our group. That somehow, like we have so many great bodhisattva level practitioners who, for one reason or another, can't or just chose not to take lay ordination or monastic ordination. And I got the impression they felt a bit lesser in SBT, like they weren't at that higher level. And I just thought that was so absolutely wrong. And so this is one of the big updates that we did, to just add real clarity that all three of these are equal. The only difference is in lifestyle commitment and the way people wish to be trained, right? And that's personal. We would never tell somebody that. That's up to you. Ms. Tashi?
Back when I was taking lay ordination, I was kind of sad because I thought, but I want to be a bodhisattva. I thought I'd be leaving that behind. So I'm glad you did this. Makes me feel better.
I think that's one of the comments that motivated me. And especially to call it advanced bodhisattva. This idea is in Buddhism. We have the idea of bodhisattvas and supreme bodhisattvas. They're usually not like different paths or levels. It's more, the deities in Tibetan Buddhism, they're considered great or supreme bodhisattvas. So that idea is there. But I like the idea that for 1 year, just get your mind around the bodhisattva vows, this idea of commitment to compassion. That's enough for anybody to study. And once you feel grounded in that, then you can really move into the higher studies. And then the higher studies are a lot easier because you can focus fully on those. So that's why we're using the term advanced bodhisattva. So that's another unique thing in our curriculum, that we're making those two levels.
There's a question in the chat.
Okay. Would you like to read it to me, Noah? If there are comments, if it's a question, that's cool. If there are comments, just you guys can read them.
So Jonathan says, are there vows at the novice and skillful living levels?
No, they're not.
How is
Yeah.
How is progression achieved to the committed practitioner level? Who decides?
Great. Actually, that comes in right now. It was perfect timing. This
Okay,
is a
there's one
second.
other, before you do it then, let me ask you one other question. There aren't vows for novice and skillful living in a ceremony, although one could take vows personally for their practice. Oh, I'm sorry, that was a statement.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We just don't tell people what to do. If somebody wanted to download the monastic level study guide and just start practicing that on their own, I wouldn't try to stop them. And if they had questions, I'd support it. So I don't think it's a very, I think having some kind of progression is a smart way to study. When I was a piano teacher, I didn't start people off in Chopin. You got to ease your way into it. So, but, you all know yourselves better than I know you. So we offer that freedom, right? Okay, so here's the next outline. This one's a little bit more detailed. To answer Jonathan's question, so we come in at novice level. No prerequisites, nothing. You could just straight off the street, come on in. The aim is to develop stability, clarity, and contentment. And basically, novice level is working through our meditation program. And novice level has a practice guide, and it has just a handful of really beautiful morning affirmations. And then the study guides and the affirmation, you're free to do which ones you want. If you find one objectionable, which I cannot imagine anybody would, but you could just skip one. Oh, I don't like that one. I'm not telling you what to do. So that's novice level. Now, again, this is an example curriculum. This is one when people say, what should I do? How should I progress? And I say, here's our recommendation. This is what we've made that we recommend to people. But you don't have to follow it. And now, skillful living level, we offer these programs at different times of the year. Some people come to us in the winter or summer. We're doing the skillful living program. They might jump in there, do the meditation programs later. So the novice and skillful living, you don't have to do one to do the other. They could be interchangeable. Again, no vows, no nothing. It's just straight study and practice, easy peasy, right? We say with skillful living, the aim is to discover your true value, your true potential, and true nature. It's a beautiful thought, right? The studies are the skillful living program. Practices are daily meditation, mindfulness, daily affirmations, and there's various practices that we share in skillful living. You're in charge of doing which ones you want to do. Those lead up to committed. So committed means vows, right? This is the point where you take vows. And again, so there's no ceremony in novice levels, right? None of that. Completely secular. And then we move into refuge. We offer a ceremony. We offer the practice guide, everything else. Most people think the ceremony is beneficial. It's let alone beneficial, but it's beautiful, to be with Sangha, to commit to practicing with others. There's a great beauty to it. So, but this is the level that there's a level of commitment, but it's up to you how committed you want to be, right? The commitment is really to yourself. The commitment is to your own awakening. I'm not going to yell at you if I get you breaking a vow. Dana, you're not supposed to lie, It's up there, it's your practice. We're here as facilitators, not leaders, right? Dana, would you like to share?
So what if you've already taken refuge? I've taken refuge many years ago.
You can retake it. As far as SBT is concerned,
right,
you're free to do what you want to do. And even in traditions, it's very common for people to retake a refuge. Bodhisattva vows, you'll retake those with all different teachers.
Yeah.
So no, that's not a problem, I think, in all the traditions. And if you were to switch traditions, most teachers will recommend that you take refuge again.
Is this switching traditions? Going to agnostic or Buddhism,
Secular Buddhism?
secular Buddhism?
Well, we're working at trying to make ourselves a tradition, so
Okay, so it's switching traditions. You're going
yeah, that's semantics. If you want to call it that, yeah.
okay.
You could say switching ideologies, you could say switching teachers, switching sanghas, whatever you want to do.
Okay.
Okay, so then we have refuge. We recommend that before taking refuge, that people complete the novice level studies. You don't have to, but we recommend it. Entry is taking refuge vows, which we offer in a ceremony like today. The aim is awakening in any capacity. It doesn't mean becoming a Buddha, but it just means becoming more awake and more aware of reality than you were before. Studies are focused on the Four Noble Truths. Practices are upholding your precepts, your commitments, your training, and cultivating the threefold path. I'm not going to go into detail about all the paths. Then we move up to Bodhisattva levels. The Bodhisattva prerequisite is holding refuge vows for a year. Mike, could you, Nawan, could you, got it, lower Dana's hand, good. Entry is taking Bodhisattva vows. We're going to offer that today. Again, the aim is awakening. Here we switch to the 6 perfections and the cultivation of bodhicitta, the altruistic mind of awakening. Those are the studies. And the practice are the same, upholding your vows and training, and also cultivating the 6 perfections and mind training, which we're offering now. Mind training is open to everybody. It's a beautiful practice. It should be called heart training. It's much more about cultivating compassion and kindness. And then from there, if anyone chooses to, they could move to advanced practitioner level. Prerequisite for all are the same. Practices for all are the same. Aim of all of these is the same. We recommend that people hold regular Bodhisattva vows for a year before stepping up. The aim is awakening. The studies for all 3 is emptiness. The practices for all 3 is, again, your precepts, your commitment, realizing emptiness, and doing SBT's final practice, our highest practice, which is taking the result as the path. That's it, everybody. And you can see how these 3 are equal. The goal's the same, the prerequisites the same, the study's the same, the practice is the same. The only difference is your choice in training. I really dig the monk thing. It works for me. Not everybody would be happy being a poor, grungy monk like me, but I love it. And so we offer these for the different types of people. Okay, what kind of thoughts you guys have?
So Tarpa, there's a question here from Franyo. He's asking that, can after a few years, can someone be a Dharma teacher?
Being a Dharma teacher takes a long time, takes a lot of knowledge, a lot of experience. I studied with my teacher for 10 years before I was given permission to teach. In our monastery, like Sarah, most Westerners would study at the monastery for at least 10 years before leaving to teach. We'd study up to Uma class, or what's called middle way philosophy. And at that point, many would go back to the West and teach. A lot of FPMT teachers have done that. Yeah, it takes a long time. Now, SBT has a workaround because a lot of people are interested in sharing the Dharma. So SBT starts, we have a gradual instructor program. So instead of being a teacher, you can first begin as an instructor. And we have a meditation and mindfulness instructor program. And it's a handful of weeks, and you could be certified at being a meditation instructor. You can teach basic meditation. You're not going to be teaching Dharma. And then we move up to the skillful living level, and we have a program for that. So in a sense, we have programs for each one of these for instructors. And then slowly you might be asked to coordinate a program. Right now, one of our dear lay ordained, Miss Wangmo, she's coordinating the mind training, where she's not necessarily teaching Dharma, she's just sharing the material and helping everybody to understand it and and help the program, to facilitate the program. Eventually, you build enough knowledge that you may have a teacher ask you to teach. Traditionally, you don't ask a teacher to teach. That lacks humility. That would be a red flag to a teacher. I think I'm ready to teach. I want to start teaching. You might never teach if you said that to your teacher. What you'd say is, in the Tibetan tradition, you'd say, oh, I hope one day to possess enough wisdom to be able to share the Dharma with others. And your teacher would nod. Oh, yes, that'd be lovely, wouldn't it? But generally, you don't ask to teach. Your teacher makes things available when you're ready to handle them. But Tibetan Buddhism, I think all Buddhism, are really serious about teaching authentic Dharma, to not making mistakes in teaching Dharma. It's huge in the traditions. That is the biggest no-no, is teaching false Dharma, right? And so SBT takes it seriously as well. All of our lay ordained and our monastics have a vow that they're not permitted to teach Dharma without permission. Now, there's a difference between teaching and sharing. Anyone can share the Dharma. All of you can share what you love about the Dharma, things that work with you, with your friends. That's not a problem in regular conversation. When we talk about teaching, we're talking about more an official capacity. We're talking about, an audience, and maybe you've advertised that I'm going to give a teaching on bodhicitta, and you're not permitted to do that in SBT without permission. And in almost all traditions, you have to have permission from your teacher to teach. So if you could think about 10 years in a monastery, it's like having a doctorate in Buddhism, right? So that's the level of proficiency teachers are looking for in students before they can teach. And oftentimes it's for good reason. Oftentimes people that aren't ready to teach will have disastrous experiences trying to do so. Maybe people in the audience ridicule them because they don't know what they're talking about. People ask difficult questions, or maybe it just throws people into some kind of egocentric path that just ends up, completely ruining any chance they had at awakening. So we do that for a lot of reasons, but the safety of the student being one of them. That was a long answer. I'm getting paid per word today. And since it's retreat day, it's double pay. I get 20 cents a word for every word it's in. Anybody have any questions? Should I take this off the screen? Yeah, I'm sick of looking at it. Richard made it. Good to see you, Richard. Richard's taking vows today.
Hello, Venerable.
Hello, Richard. Good to see you, my new
Good to
best
see you
friend.
too.
Oh, good to see everybody. Did you enjoy the teaching? What do you think of the new curriculum? I think it's pretty cool, huh? Talk about equality, boy, like nobody else. We can cover anybody that comes to us. We have a path for them, no matter how they want to be involved. Okay, I should probably stop chatting. Hey, today's retreat day, as a lot of you know. We've been going at it since early in the morning, having a blast. And the fun is not finished. So in about 40 minutes, we have our vow ceremony and vow purification ceremony. Today's a big day because we have a lot of people taking vows. We just talked about them all. So we have people taking refuge vows, we have people taking bodhisattva vows, and we have people taking lay ordained vows. Excuse me. So you heard me talk about it, but this ceremony is open to everyone, and it's a beautiful ceremony. It's short, but by coming to the ceremony, you'll get to hear all the vows and commitments at all the levels, and you'll have an opportunity to really understand what we're doing. And the vows are really, really beautiful, right? So I'm super excited. I'm going to get off now so I can start preparing for it. That's going to be in about 35 minutes. Hope everybody can make it back. And those who are taking lay ordination, which is Ananda and Kempo, come back a little early so we can talk about your ceremony. And with that said, why don't we end today's teaching with our altruistic affirmation? May all be healthy, may all be prosperous, may all be well, may all be present, free of past regret and future worry. May all abide in constant appreciation, which is a sign of great joy and contentment. May all realize their true nature and the true nature of reality, which is awakening. Thanks for joining me, you wonderful people.